What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadski, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. So today we're here with the last final day of the most recent Grand Party season, and yeah, obviously it's nice that we have Grand Party finally finishing up. This season was interesting. I found that not a lot of people were going out of their way to make their teams easier for everyone. I guess the main component of that is because slasher teams are so good right now that so many people have like slashers as one of their main teams, and even if they just change the GP leader, it is still going to be really hard to kill a really good slasher team. And like, even if you have like a complete mirror match, it's just completely RNG, depending on who uses their special first and stuff like that. So it can be a bit troublesome for sure. And like the team that I'm using right here, as you're seeing on screen, this is like the most optimal slasher team, at least that I think, at least for the front line. The bench is obviously chop and change, and you could really build it however you like, depending on the season. I know some people are using Pell and Dalton because Dex received the special CT increase this season, which makes them a little bit more potent in Rumble. But obviously I was building a Dex team on this squad as well for my matches. So I had a Dex team that I wanted to trial out with Usopp. I might make a dedicated video for Usopp because I think he's actually kind of an interesting unit moving forward into the future for Dex focused teams. But for this team up here that you're seeing, I did actually come up against like a fully built team for the first two matches here. Luckily, they weren't like uber difficult, and Free Spirit, especially when you have a Gear 5 burst skill, is gonna pretty much carry against most teams. I feel like the only team that could potentially pose a threat to this would be like the Int focus team with the new Gear 5 Luffy, because he can force out your Free Spirit characters. But the fact that Int have level 5 special CT decrease this season is definitely massive, though with characters like Pudding and potentially 6+ Bonnie having the ability to like reverse your opponent's specials and then they gain their specials back with Pudding and stuff, could be a bit troublesome. But yeah, that's like the only team I think could be a bit of an issue for this squad, or even Slashers if they knock out the right characters. But due to Zoro and Luffy having revive mechanics, definitely holds them in good stead against Slashers in some aspects. So despite the fact that I found the first game a little bit more challenging, I was a little bit concerned moving forward into the other matches. However, we get a little bit lucky here. So I do see my opponent here does have Shirahoshi Manchuri on the front line for their secondary team. So I went in fully expecting it to be a randomized team. Looking at this team though, if this is randomized, this is a crazy good randomized team. It's almost like a fully potent like Free Spirit team just about. But you know, it was a little concerning looking at this, but at the same time, like, it's not completely synergistic, so it's not the best team ever. Plus, you know, Slashers have pretty good special CT just inbuilt with how they kind of work. So I wasn't like overly concerned, and I was fully prepared to use the burst skill against these random teams if need be. But as you see, you know, Roger Whitebeard and S-Hawk basically clearing the entire front line of the opponent. So not really too many issues there, which is good to see. But seeing that, you know, even though it was sort of like a built team, the synergy wasn't perfect, so I still fully expected it to be a random team, and especially because Shirahoshi and Manchuri were on the front line for the secondary squad, so it wasn't really too overly concerned about that. But I do pretty much the same thing, just have Slashers up first to go ahead and, you know, get the burst skill very quickly, because obviously with Psy Gear 5, it's based on doing 55,000 damage to the opponent, and due to Slashers having crazy damage through defense and health cuts, that's it's pretty easy to do that and easy to achieve the burst skill, which is why I like to use Slashers first, and then, you know, acquiring that burst skill with Free Spirit. This Free Spirit team doesn't have great offensive prowess. Like, the only characters that are actually doing damage is Gear 5 Luffy and Sanji. This team is very good at stalling though, but having this team with how good it is defensively with the Gear 5 burst skill, you're pretty much going to beat most teams out there, which is why I really like this team so much. It's just very reliable. As long as you have an offensive burst skill that's going to aid you in your offensive powers, that's kind of like what you need for this team to work properly. And then finally moving on to our final match, once again doing pretty much the same thing, using our slasher team up front with the Free Spirit team coming up next. I do see that the opponent does have Shiryu on the front line for the last team, so I was thinking this could be a random team, but also at the same time, Shiryu on the front line is not abnormal either. So I had my Dex team up against that bottom team. So if it happened to be a quick team, Dex has a very good matchup against that. So I wasn't too concerned there. So I just felt like in my head, as long as I win one of the other 2 games, I should be good. And then heading into this first game, seeing the team that my opponent put up, it does have Roger Whitebeard, which is a little concerning. However, the rest of the team isn't that bad at all. It does have Gear 5 on it, which can do damage through defense to one single target. But as long as Roger Whitebeard got knocked out, the rest of the team was pretty much free, and luckily for us, Roger Whitebeard did end up going out, I believe, right before they launched. I think they might have actually launched the special on us. No, I think they did get knocked out. So at that point, yeah, I didn't even need to use the burst skill at all, which meant I could keep the burst skill for the next squad, and that was pretty much it. And considering, you know, it was a random team up first, the next one's going to be random as well. So yeah, the last day, luckily, you know, people following that strat, making sure that on that last day we have random teams to go up against, so it makes things a lot easier, because the final day is the most concerning day. You don't have refreshes, you don't have retries, and obviously it's the day with the most rewards, so it's you know, it's kind of scary and stuff. But another season of Grand Party down the drain. I will have towards the end of this clip showing you my randomized team, and I also show off a limited pool legend ticket from the rewards from Grand Party. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to go ahead and leave a like, and if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. Other than that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.
最後の島の場所は分かった。出港はいつにする？